Good afternoon. This is Laura Esposito with History Channel's news segment, Long Lost. Our lost and found artifact for today has already made history with proving the legitimacy of the myth, or should I say, true story, of the Iliad. We have an exclusive copy of the journal at hand. And it is a journal written by no other than Achilles himself. Let's take a look. Day 1. They call this day and age the Bronze Age. Why this is so, I do not know. It's also difficult to remember how the war began. This is most likely so because I try to block it from my memory. Paris, that sniveling, worthless prince, and Helen, however both wicked they are, could not have possibly seen how their actions would have ignited the flame that has been burning our land through war these past 9 years. They should have foreseen the fury of Menelaus. He has always had quite the temper. Menelaus, the mighty and true king of Sparta, would not lose his dear wife. I hear she is known as the most beautiful girl in the world, but I don't pay attention to the trash that the Daily Achaean makes up. Media these days. Offended. Agamemnon confided in me how heartbroken his brother was, despite the tough front he put up. Anyway, today was pretty enjoyable. We conquered a town that is known to be an ally of those filthy Trojans. Agamemnon took a beautiful woman named Chryseis. She's cute, but she has the personality of Hades on a Monday. I chose the quieter and gentler beauty named Briseis. Everything was going just fine until Chryseis' father paid us a little visit and demanded for his daughter back. He did not come bearing any weapons, so we did not take the poor man too seriously. Even after he offered a large sum of money for his daughter, we laughed so hard at his request until he had no choice but to leave us with our well-deserved prizes. We did not hear him praying to Apollo for help as he departed our camp. Little did we know this father was the priest of Apollo. As per usual, I blame Agamemnon. I cannot foresee what our fate will be, but we should have realized the grave danger we were in, as our fate was now in the hands of Apollo. Day 10. It had been 10 horrible and torturous days since Apollo has cast a plague upon our camp. At first we were in denial of the cause of this disease. Today I gathered an assembly to further discuss the matter. I did this with the intention to find a soothsayer. A soothsayer now, mind you, is a seer, a fortune teller. A soothsayer who could tell us where the roots of our problem were lying. A man by the name of Calchas informed us of our worst fear. The disease was indeed sent in a gift basket wrapped in a lovely bow by Apollo. My hand is shaking with anger as I recall the next sequence of events. Agamemnon turned bright red and underwent a raging tantrum. Then, after his blood had reached a boiling point, he had the nerve to tell the assembly that he will only be willing to return Chryseis, as if we had simply just picked her up fresh from the market, if I gave him Briseis instead. Whoa, hold on there, you giant piece of what does that say, John? Cerberus crap. Vulgarity. You dare tell me, your strongest, fastest, handsomest, most valuable warrior, that you are to take my woman? He had quite the ego, didn't he? After all that I've done for you, I didn't want to admit it, but I was equally as embarrassed as I was furious. Yes, I could have, in hindsight, I could have ended the entire situation and done what was morally best for the team by sacrificing my claim to Briseis. I deserve far more glory than that. My own honor is at stake here. Forget duty. I don't want to serve the Achaeans if this is how I am to be treated. The rage inside me had almost reached its boiling point. My hands were shaking as I reached for my sword, furious enough to take Agamemnon's life right there. I do not ever remember feeling so at mercy of my anger. It seemed to be the dominant brain of my body, the simple yet powerful feeling of rage. It was controlling every inch of me, and I didn't know / understand how close I was to piercing his heart with my sword until Athena showed up and calmed me down. Even so, I am praying to my mother to convince Zeus to punish the Achaeans. But note, his mother was a sea nymph, and she had divine connections, if that makes sense. They deserve no honor and no glory, for they have stripped me of my own honor and deserve to suffer, just as I am emotionally suffering today. Oh, the insult! I refuse to take any more part in this war, especially on any side that Agamemnon is leading. Day 19. Today began as a beautiful day. The weather was nice, not too hot and not too cold. My best friend Patroclus and I were hanging out together and writing a song on our lyre. We were really making progress until Odysseus, Ajax, and Phoenix rudely interrupted us. They were sent on a mission to try and persuade me to join the battle again. Do they not understand how great my rage is? Such a fire cannot be put out with a few drops of water. Besides, I've already made the decision to return to home, sweet home, Pythia. I no longer crave the brief, glorious life of a warrior. I want to live a long life now, free of worry and insult. Day 23. Patroclus is my best friend, and I am worried for him. Today he asked if I could borrow my armor, cast by Hephaestus himself. Of course, out of friendship, I obliged. He is one of my favorite people on this whole earth, and I hope that he uses his armor wisely and keeps himself safe. The bells of battle are ringing in my ear, and they sound so tempting, but I am still better about the insult that Agamemnon has burnt me with. Day 24. I am feeling an emotion that is oceans deeper than the rage I felt from Agamemnon. My dear friend Patroclus has been murdered in the name of war, and it is my fault. The armor must have led him to be irrationally optimistic of his power and ability. My tears today must have been enough to fill up Poseidon's entire kingdom. And the volume of my cry had to have been loud enough to vibrate throughout the walls of the gods' kingdom on Mount Olympus. My heart is shattered and my soul is crushed. No feeling of anger or pride could possibly match this agony. My dear, dear friend, you shall be avenged. As I am sitting next to your dead body, I vow not to bury you until I have slain vicious Hector. Do not worry, my friend. My desire to honor your life and sacrifice is far more powerful than my prideful attempts to defend my honor and dignity. Today is surely a day of moral development for me, and I feel like a new man. Thank you for giving me something more important to stand for, something other than myself. Day 25. My favorite god, don't tell the other ones. Hephaestus has made me a worthy new set of armor. Today I am fired up and ready to kill Hector. He shall be slain mercilessly, just as he has slain my dear friend. Today, Agamemnon and I reconciled. I feel even more morally developed now. I am using a feeling other than my pride as my fuel. Today, I am fueled by my brotherly love for Patroclus. I know that as soon as I walk onto the field of battle, I am destined for death. Regardless, I am willing to make that sacrifice. Although I have not eaten breakfast, for some reason I already feel full with nectar and ambrosia. I have a funny feeling that Zeus is responsible for that miracle. I feel as if I have the gods on my side. Hector is doomed. Day 27. Hector is finally dead. Patroclus is avenged, and I can live out the remainder of my life, however short that may be, in peace. My favorite part of the battle is when I tied his body to a chariot and rode around, relishing in his post-mortem humiliation. Although I miss Patroclus dearly, I thank him every day for inadvertently teaching me of the true meaning of honor and glory. I fight for my friends and my people, for they are my family. That, as I have grown to learn, is the essence of a worthy soldier. I am grateful for this moral development and content in my heart. Wow. So impactful. This exclusive first look has been brought to you by Long Lost, a segment of the History Channel. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you sometime soon.